guys, it is Aoife from Fred Weasley Died Laughing, and I'm here with my September weekly wrap-up. This is my third September weekly wrap-up. September is going by way too fast. Oh my goodness, I just feel like this year has just flown in. Does anyone else feel this way? Because I just feel like it's gone extra fast or something, I don't know. So I'm just up in my room up in Donegal, which is up at the top of Ireland, and it is just kind of a holiday home that my parents have, so I came up here for the weekend, so I thought I might as well film my wrap up here. So I pretty good this week. I read 4 or 5 books this week, and one of them was a collection of short stories, yeah, I feel like I did really well. I just had a lot of train journeys, I guess, and kind of waiting around in trains, and then I don't know, it was just a good reading week. So the first thing I read this week was Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief by Riordan. I really enjoyed this. I couldn't remember for the life of me if I had read this when I was younger. I feel like I picked it up a lot, but I don't think I actually read it now that I have read it. I just was so confused whether I had ever read it before and I just forgotten about it. But I really enjoyed this, and if people don't know what this is about a 12-year-old called Percy Jackson, and he finds out that he is a half-blood or a demigod, and his dad is actually Poseidon, the sea god. And then he goes on this quest to find this lightning bolt that everyone seems to think that he robbed, and he's trying to clear his name and help out his dad, and it is just about his adventures and the other people he meets who are also the sons and daughters of gods. And it's just really good. It's a really good childish action adventure, really easy to read, as it is kind of a middle grade book. So I flew through it, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars because it was just really good. And then after that I went on and I also read Percy Jackson and the Sea of Monsters, which is the second book in the series. So this is just a little bit of a carry-on. Can't say too much of it, obviously, because you know, a lot of stuff happened in the first one. So, but this is just Percy Jackson getting another adventure with more friends, going to, you know, a place full of monsters as usual, and trying to beat them and trying to, you know, beat all these other random Greek myths and legends that you wouldn't even know are real, but they are real in Percy Jackson's world. So again, it was really good, really fast read, really enjoyed it, and 5 out of 5 stars. And then I read one of the books that I had for my bookish TBR, which was Bomb by Sarah Mussi. I had chosen this as a darker theme. This book is about a girl called Genesis who wakes up one day after a blind date, and she's in a strange place. She doesn't know where she is. She can't remember the night before, but she has a bomb strapped to her chest, and she has an earpiece glued into her ear, and she's getting directions from this. It's kind of like a terrorist extremist group called the Brightness, and they're using her basically as a suicide bomber to try and spread their message of fear. So I thought this book, I was really excited to read this book. I thought it had a brilliant concept. I was really excited to see where they went with it, about, you know, the kind of character development Genesis would have, like, you know, in this situation, because it's just such a crazy situation for someone to be in. And I was really disappointed. I really hated this book. I found it really hard to get through. After about 40 to 50%, I really wanted to put it down, but I don't DNF books. It's just something I don't do. It's just like, I think it's just curiosity with me. I have to know how a book ends. So I was actually able to skim read the last 60%, like literally on my Kindle, because I had it on my Kindle. So I was literally able to just fly through the pages, because there was so much unnecessary descriptions, I guess, and thoughts going along with it, that I was able to just skim read it and get the whole gist of the rest of the book and the rest of what happened. Yeah, I just really didn't like it. It just felt like Genesis there were times where she was really mature, and she was really like, she was spilling out all these facts and stuff, so she was obviously quite clever. And there was other times that, you know, she's strapped to a bomb and all she can think is about this relationship that she used to be in and this guy, and then she kind of turned the whole thing into this really weird love triangle, and it was just really weird. And even when, like, she was trying to get people to help her, there was no mention of, like, really calling the police and explaining what was happening, or going to a police station explaining what was happening, and it was kind of like they were trying to deal with it themselves. And it's like, girl, you have a bomb strapped to your chest. If you have a bomb strapped to your chest, you go to the police. Hello. I have written quite a lengthy review. I don't want to say too much in it in case people do want to read it because I don't want to spoil it. But if you are interested in any of the other things that I did have problems with in this book, I have quite a lengthy review on Goodreads and on my blog that I will link below. If you're interested. But yeah, it was just a really bad book. I really hated it, and I gave it 1 star out of 5. And I very rarely give 1 stars, but this was a 1-star book for me. I really didn't like it. And then after that, thankfully, I went on and I read A Spool of Blue Thread by Anne Tyler. And this is one of the Man Booker nominees this year. And this is one of the few, I don't want to read all of them, but there are a few that I found quite interesting, so I decided I would read this. I really love this book. I thought it was really good. It's not like a very action-packed book. It's a very kind of easy, lovely read. It's basically just about Abby and Red, who are the parents of this family. They're obviously, like the matriarch, the patriarch of this family, and the story just kind of tells little bits and bobs about their family life and their family stories, and nothing is extraordinary. It's just kind of these normal family stories that they like because it's their family, and all the little quirks and things that any family goes through, but every family has kind of specific quirks and specific personalities and specific characteristics in their family. And I felt like this was a really good kind of exploration into one of these kind of families, kind of real regular American family. And it could be a family that could be found anywhere in the world, where you have all these different personalities. You have the reliable son, the non-reliable son, the bossy daughter, the career orientated daughter, I guess you could say. And it was just a really lovely read. I kind of felt like I was like swaddled up in a blanket when I was reading it, because it was just so lovely, and I just felt so comfortable with the story, and I really loved it. I haven't got a chance to write a review on it, but I will be writing a review probably when I get home or tomorrow. Yeah, I just really loved it. I think everyone should just, if you're looking for something that's just kind of a nice, easy reading, I would say this. As I said, there's not a lot of action in it, so if you are someone who prefers a real action-packed book or very fast-paced book, it's not for you. But if you like something that's a little bit slower paced and a little bit, plod along, I would really suggest this, and I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 stars because I just really loved it. And then the last book I read this week, I read on my Kindle. I'd actually started it at the same time as I started A Spool of Blue Thread, but it was a collection of short stories. So I read kind of 1 to 2 short stories over a period of days between Wednesday and Sunday. And it was Barbara the Slut and Other People by Lauren Holmes. I never read short stories, so it's this is a really random thing for me to be reading. It's just something I did see on NetGalley, and I was approved for it, so thank you to NetGalley and publishers for that. I'd heard a little bit about it in other videos, but it is basically, I couldn't figure out a way to explain what these kind of stories are, because they're so kind of a very brief moment in people's lives. There's no kind of real beginning or end to it. It's kind of almost you're just put splat down in the middle of someone's life for maybe a few days or these few moments, and that's that. And a lot of people on Goodreads were describing it as kind of a slice of life short stories, and that's a really good way to put it. It's basically just a slice of life with all these people's stories. Some of them were really good, some of them weren't good. There were a few that I liked that I can't even remember the names of now, because I just have my Kindle in front of me. I don't have the names of all the short stories in front of me. But I really enjoyed them. Some more than others. I particularly enjoyed Barbara the Slut, which is obviously is the very last story in it and is the name of the book. And that was a very good one. And yeah, it's just stories about people's relationships, people's sexual relationships, their feelings, their thoughts. There's stories about people trying to come out to their parents, people, a girl working in kind of a sexual disease place, like HIV/AIDS, like a testing facility. There's a story about a girl who decides to work in a sex shop because she doesn't want to do law. And then there's a story that's told completely from a dog's point of view, which was particularly good. I thought that was quite funny. There's just loads of all these different stories of all these different people, and yeah, it was just really, really interesting because it's not something I read. I never, as I said, I never read short stories. It's just not something that really appeals to me. I'm not sure if this book would turn me on to short stories, but it definitely wasn't a bad experience. So I think I will give it a 4 out of 5 stars. I hadn't actually thought about what I was going to give it before I started talking about it in this video, but I'll give it a 4 out of 5 stars because I did enjoy it. Yeah. So that is that for this week. Why don't you guys let me know what you read this week, because I would really like to know. And I will see you guys again soon. Bye!